이번 주에도 돌아온 고품격 한국어 영어 팟캐스트 하프앤하프의 정태용입니다. 반갑습니다.
I'm Jeep. Welcome to Half and Half. And today we're going to talk about photos. Is that right?
맞아요. 사진. 네.
In English and Korean. Yeah, this is such a very broad topic. I'm curious what you specifically want to talk about, Taeyong-sim. Maybe you should start.
아, 그래요?
Yeah.
근데 사실 저도 그 사진 주제가 너무 이야기거리가 방대해서 그냥 이번엔 그냥 아무 얘기나 편하게 해보려고 생각했거든요.
Okay. We could just have a very
네네.
relaxed, easy conversation.
네, 그렇게 하는 것도 재밌을 것 같아서.
Okay. So
근데 네.
go ahead. Yeah.
그 방금 찌프 말 듣자마자 생각난 건데
Uh-huh.
포토랑 픽처의 차이가 뭐예요?
Oh, there is a difference. I think for me, picture feels like a more casual word, and photo feels like a more formal word. But the main difference is a picture. You can draw a picture, like you can draw a picture,
그쵸.
or you can paint a picture, or a picture. I don't know. It can be any type of flat image. Flat image is a picture, right? But a photo is you use a camera and you like you take a photo.
네.
So that's the difference, in my opinion. So like in Korean, like you have sajin. That's only photo, right? That's not a picture.
맞아요. 그냥 사진이에요. 카메라로 찍은 사진.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the main difference.
그 픽처라는 단어가 생각보다 되게 좀 특이한 단어네요.
I think so too. Yeah, I agree. I don't know where it comes from. Like, I don't know a lot of like roots of words. Picture, I'm not sure.
네.
You can use picture as a verb though, actually.
그쵸.
Yeah, so you could say
약간
picture
이렇게
this.
딱 네.
Imagine, it means, yeah.
네, 그렇게 쓰기도 하고.
Oh yeah, and like another common English phrase, we say, "Oh, I'm getting the picture." I'm getting the picture.
좀 이해된다. 무슨 상황인지 알겠다. 그 말 아니에요?
Yeah, it means I'm understanding. I'm starting to understand. I think I understand. I'm getting the picture. Yeah. Or you in movies, they use this in movies. They don't really say it in real life. You say, "Do you get the picture?" It means do you understand?
네. 참 영어는 진짜 좀 특이한 것 같아요.
Yeah, definitely.
네.
Yeah, I like the word sajin in Korean also. I don't know why. I think just this is one of the first Korean words I learned. Like maybe like in the first 10 or 20 words that I learned. Something about the word sajin is just very simple. I don't know. It's very clear and easy to understand.
그렇죠.
Yeah, I don't know why.
딱 그거
I like this
하나니까. 사진. 근데 그러니까 넓은 주제인 만큼 되게 중요한 단어인 것 같기도 해요. 그리고 특히나 요즘 세상에서는 사진이 진짜 중요한 것 같아요.
Because of like SNS, or what do you mean?
뭐 그런 것 때문에.
Okay, yeah. Social media.
네.
I shouldn't say SNS because that's really a Korean word.
그래요?
Oh yeah, we don't say SNS in English. We say social media.
그냥 소셜 미디어.
Yeah. Yeah, true. So pictures or photos. I don't know if I should say photo or picture. I'll say photos because it's more specific to what we're talking about.
네.
A long time ago, originally, taking a photo was very expensive and took, special equipment. And then eventually, there's consumer cameras, like film cameras. So not so expensive, but you would take a photo, you'd take 20 or 30 photos. You would send your film somewhere to get developed.
그쵸.
And then a month later or a week later, you would get your pictures, your photos back. And then you would put them in a book and never look at them ever again.
아, 그래요? 다시는 안 봐요?
maybe you'd show them to a friend or something. Yeah, and then you have the internet, so people started like, scanning their photos. We'd say you scan your photo
네.
and you maybe post it online somewhere. And then
네.
now everybody has a camera in their pocket everywhere at all times.
그쵸.
And everybody takes 20 pictures a day.
네.
Yeah, for any reason they want. So yeah, it's photos are like so integrated with society right now. Like they're so important.
네, 네, 맞습니다.
Yeah.
아, 근데, 그 얘기를 듣고 보니까 참 뭐랄까, 좀 감회가 새롭네요. 그 사진기의 역사를 듣고 나니까, 왜냐면 저만 해도, 막 이런 핸드폰 카메라가 대중화되기 전 세상을 경험한 세대이기 때문에, 저 진짜 어릴 때는 막 핸드폰 카메라 그런 거 없었단 말이에요.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we've lived through that transition of like not having cameras to suddenly having cameras. Like, yeah.
네.
It's interesting.
참 그렇게 사실 엄청난 변화잖아요. 그 좀 느껴지는 게 있나요, 제프는?
Yeah, I mean, so when I was younger, I had like a what would we call it? We called it disposable camera. So
일회용 카메라.
Yeah. Well, yes. 일인용 makes it sound like you only take one photo, but it's, you have
네.
you take 30 photos.
아, 뭐 그렇긴 하죠.
I know that's what you're saying. It just sounds that
필름
way.
필름 한
Yeah.
롤용 카메라.
Exactly. Yeah. So you'd have I had disposable cameras, and like you'd have to think very specifically about when you take a photo. Like, do I want to take this photo or not? Nah, it's not important. And then you go, then a week later, should I take a photo? Okay, I'll take a photo. So you take one photo and you're like, you don't know if it turned out good or bad. Was the lighting good? Was the lighting bad? Did you actually frame it correctly? Like, should I take a second photo or am I wasting it?
맞아요.
You have to really
맞아요.
think about it.
그러니까.
Yeah. So it was usually like only very special occasions, like somebody's birthday or some special moment, like somebody gets an award or they're holding some new thing that they just bought or something like
네.
that. Yeah.
그러니까요.
So, yeah. Yeah.
그래서 전에는
Yeah.
그 사진 한 장 한 장의 가치가 되게 귀했어요.
Yeah.
그래서 그 한 장 한 장 찍을 때 그 무게감이 좀 달랐거든요.
Absolutely. Yeah.
네, 그냥 막 펑펑펑펑 찍을 수 없고.
Yeah. No way.
네.
Yep.
근데 또 그렇게 바뀐 걸로 인해서 그 뭐랄까 사람들의 이 사진 한 장 한 장을 찍는 마음이 좀 더 가벼워진 걸까요?
Yeah.
그런
mean,
걸까요?
Yeah, maybe it feels like less important, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. So there's another thing. In English, we call these Polaroid photos. I don't know. What do you call this in Korean? I have no idea.
폴라로이드 카메라요.
Oh, okay. So Polaroid is a brand, of course. It's not like a specific style, but yeah, when I was younger, Polaroid cameras, not everybody had them, but everybody wanted them.
그랬구나.
Everybody wanted a Polaroid camera because you could take a picture, take a photo, and immediately, after 2 minutes, not immediately. After 2 minutes, you could look at it and see if it was good. Yeah.
흔들어야 되잖아요.
Yeah. And it would come out, and then you hold it and shake it and like look at it. Yeah, it was like so satisfying to like take a photo and immediately have that photo. And yeah, like Polaroid photos were awesome, but I don't know. Did you ever use Polaroid photos like a long time ago?
네, 저는 써봤어요. 저도.
Okay.
그 이렇게 막 그 막 이렇게 접혔다가 펴지는 카메라를 하나 고등학생
Yeah.
때인가 사서
Yeah. It like folded. Yeah.
네, 썼었는데
Mm-hmm.
그게 진짜 낭만이 있었거든요.
Yeah, totally.
근데 문제는 필름 값이 너무 비쌌어요. 학생인 저한테는.
Yeah, a lot more expensive. That's true.
네.
Yeah. But yeah, the one big problem with Polaroid photos, in my opinion, is just because of the technology. After maybe a few months, those photos would like fade or the colors would change. They would like start to look really weird. I don't know if you've
맞아요.
noticed that. If you look at old Polaroid photos, they look really strange.
네.
But when you took a Polaroid photo and looked at it immediately, it looked good at that time. But then months later, it would look weird. So that's sort of a shame. Is that like any Polaroid photos that you took are not they're not very good quality later on. I guess they have a certain look.
맞아요.
Yeah.
그 저는 몇 달 쓰고 그 같은 고등학교 친구한테 팔았어요.
You sold them? What does that mean?
그 카메라를 팔았어요.
Oh, I thought you meant you sold the photos.
그건 아니고.
Okay.
네. 그래서 그 돈으로 졸업 여행 가서 치킨 사 먹었습니다.
Good idea. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I remember this one time. I don't know if this is very common. There was like one time I went on a vacation when I was younger where you could like rent a good camera. So if you wanted to take good vacation photos, you could rent a camera and use that. And then you would return it like near the airport, basically. So that way you didn't have to buy, an expensive camera. You could just have a good one for vacations. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't think that was a very popular service. It's just something I remember doing one time.
그쵸? 그게 한국에도 가끔 찾아보면 그런 업체가 좀 있는 걸로 알거든요. 근데 사실 뭐 요새 핸드폰 카메라 워낙 좋고 아니 뭐 굳이 필름 카메라를 써야 할 이유가 많지는 않으니까 네, 인기는 없는데 근데 사실 저는 필름 카메라를 좀 좋아해요. 그래서 막 그 몇 개 있거든요. 근데 확실히 그 재미라고 해야 되나?
Yeah.
좀 그런 게 있어요. 그 필름 카메라를 찍는 것 자체가 그 액티비티적인 재미가 있어요.
Yeah, it's fun. I agree. Yeah. When I was in high school, I actually took a photography class where we used film cameras and developed the film, using chemicals and a darkroom. I don't know what you call darkroom in Korean.
암실이라고 해요. 암실.
Okay, makes sense.
네.
Yeah, so I took a class in photography, just one semester or one quarter, I don't know. But yeah, it was interesting learning the process for like how you expose onto film paper and then like project it and then use the chemicals. Have you ever done that before?
저는 그건 한 번도 안 해봤어요.
Okay. So you said you still have a film camera that you use as
네.
a hobby?
네.
How do you get your photos developed?
그 사진관에 가서
Okay.
그냥 필름을 맡기는 거예요. 그러면 이제 그 사진사님이 이제 그 자기 작업실에서 그 사진을 다 그 현상해줘요. 필름을. 그래서 파일을 뭐 받을 수도 있고 종이 사진을 받을 수도 있고 그렇게
okay.
하죠.
What do you usually get? Digital or paper?
요새는 다 디지털로 받아요.
Okay, makes sense. Yep.
네.
Yeah, I wonder for that. I assume, I don't know. I assume that they take the film. Well, you first have to develop the film, but after they develop the film, they would probably go directly from film to digital. They wouldn't like go from film to paper and then scan the paper, right? I'm just guessing. I'm trying to think about the process. Like, how do they do that?
그게 그 예전에는 그 필름을 종이 사진으로 한 다음에 그걸 스캔해서 했었는데
Yeah.
근데 요즘은 디지털 현상? 그 아예 처음부터 바로 파일로 만드는 게 되는 것 같더라고요.
I think so too. Yeah, that would be my guess.
그렇게
Okay.
그렇게.
I see.
그게 예.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
그 필름 카메라가 그 핸드폰이나 디지털 카메라랑 다르게 그 어떻게 찍혔는지 바로 알 수 없잖아요. 그게 뭐 초점이 잘 맞았는지 뭐 안 맞았는지 뭐 찍히는 사람 표정이 뭐 괜찮았는지 어떤지 그걸 모르니까.
Right.
그러니까 그 찍을 때도 그게 하나의 액티비티고 그 결과물 그 어떻게 사진이 나왔는지를 보는 것도 액티비티인 거예요.
Yeah, that's true.
네.
You have to
그래서
wait.
이제
and
뭐 네.
the waiting for it is part of the fun, maybe.
네, 맞아요. 그래서 뭐 야 사진 나왔다 해서 뭐 친구들이나 뭐 가족이나 뭐 여자친구 남자친구 이렇게 그 어떻게 나왔는지 다시 보는 것도 되게 매력이 있는 활동이더라고요.
That's cool. Yeah. So is is taking photos? I'm trying to think of how to say this. Are you in like some kind of photo taking club where you and other people all take photos together, or is this just your own personal activity?
그냥 저 혼자.
Okay.
그러니까 뭐 다 친구들을 찍어주든 뭐 그렇게 하든.
Yeah. You take photos of them. Yeah.
그렇죠. 근데 그러니까 뭐 이제 그런 동호회 같은 거는 없어요.
I see. Okay. And so when you take a film camera somewhere, do you take a film camera everywhere with you just in case you want to take a photo, or you specifically go somewhere to take a photo?
네, 가끔 딱 이번에는 필름 카메라를 쓰고 싶다.
Okay.
그렇게 생각할 때만.
I see.
네.
Okay. That's cool. It's interesting. Yeah, I've other than the film photography class that I took in high school, other than that, I've never had like a nice good camera. I've had decent cameras, but never like a professional camera. But I think they're interesting. I think so I've had some friends who take good like professional photos, and I'm always like jealous of their equipment. I like think it's cool.
네.
But then I look at the price and then I'm just like, no. I don't want to pay that much to do this hobby.
그러니까 근데 저도 그 정도는 아니에요.
Oh, okay. It's simple camera.
네, 뭐 해봤자 뭐 한 $100, $150 정도 되는 가격에 네, 그 정도 되는 카메라?
Oh, not bad at all. Okay.
네.
Okay. Can you add lenses to it or no lenses?
안 드는 거예요.
Oh, okay.
네. 그냥
Cool.
딱 그냥 하나로 딱 되어 있는.
I see. Interesting.
네, 그런 거.
Yeah, like here. So, if I was using a film camera and taking photos, I don't know where I would get them developed. I think probably. So we have what's called copy shops in our culture, where you can, get posters or larger printed things.
네.
They probably do photography, like film development there. But other than that, we don't really have film shops.
네.
They're very uncommon. I know that in Korea, there's a lot of like photo studios, I guess you would call it.
엄청 많아요.
Yeah, there's not so many around here. That's not really a thing that we have a lot of. Yeah.
그렇구나.
Yeah. Because so for professional photos, there's maybe only two situations I can think of commonly in our culture.
네.
So number one, you're getting a photo for a license, like your driver's license or passport. And so for that, we usually go to the drugstore.
네.
So at the drugstore, you get a passport photo.
그쵸.
Okay. And then the other situation would be when children go to see Santa at the mall.
네.
The whole family can get a picture with Santa, like a family photo. But they have a professional photographer at that event or at a wedding. Like you would have a photographer at a wedding.
그쵸.
But there isn't really photo studios where you like go to get photos. Not like in Korea.
그렇구나.
Yeah.
근데 그러면은 그런 그 증명사진, 여권사진 이런 거를 어디서 찍어요? 어떻게 찍어요?
You would hire an independent like freelance photographer.
어,
They wouldn't really have a studio, but you would like probably go to some location to take the photos. But usually they don't have like I'm trying to think of how to say this. When I imagine photo studio, like especially in Korea, when I see photo studios, it's a place that you can walk in and
네.
say, "Can I please have a photograph?"
맞아요.
They say, "Okay," and then they take photographs in whatever style you want.
네.
Here, there's no place that you go to take photos. You just search on the internet for professional photographer. And then they tell you, "Oh, you can come to this address at this time, and then I'll take
네.
your photo." And that address and that time, it might be in just a public park. It might not be an actual like studio.
아, 그래요?
Yeah, really.
오, 아니, 그렇구나. 사진관 하나 차리면 잘 되는 거 아니에요, 그러면?
Yeah. It's just not very common here, I guess.
좀 젊은 친구들이 좋아할 것 같은데, 하나 생기면.
Yeah, why? Okay, so explain that to me. Actually, this is a cultural difference that I don't understand. Why?
네, 얘기하려고 했어요.
Why is this popular with young people? Because I don't get that concept.
그러니까 이게,
Yeah.
저도 정확히는 모르겠는데,
Mm-hmm.
그러니까 일단 그 한국 사람들이 사진 찍고 찍히는 걸 엄청 좋아하는 것 같아요.
Mm-hmm.
그 뭔가 좀 외모 지상주의 좀 그런 거랑 관련 있는 것 같기도 하고,
Mm-hmm.
그리고 되게 그 자기의 예쁘고 멋진 모습을 그렇게 꼭 사진으로 남기고 막 다른 사람들한테 보여주고 싶은 마음이 좀 있는 것 같아요.
Okay, I agree with all that, but why can't they take a photo by themselves? Why do they need to go to a studio? That's the question I'm asking.
자기 핸드폰으로는 그렇게 못하니까?
Why not?
그
The
아무래도
quality?
전문가가 찍은 사진,
Mm.
그리고 그 뒤에 배경과 그리고 그 한국에서
Mm-hmm.
그런 사진관에서 뭐 증명 사진이든 여권 사진이든 뭐 뭐든 사진을 다 찍으면요.
Yeah.
그 사진사 분들이
Mm-hmm.
그 얼굴을 좀 약간 편집을 해줘요.
Oh, really? They do that?
네네네.
Oh, I didn't know that.
그래서 막 점 다 지워주고, 그리고 막 눈썹 막 칠해주고.
True. Okay. They could
네.
clean it up or beautify it, remove like blemishes, we would say remove blemishes or
네.
just I see. Make it look more beautiful or make it look more clean. I don't know.
그쵸. 그쵸.
Okay. Fair point. Okay, that I can understand that point. That makes sense actually.
네.
Yeah. So like personally, like I use Photoshop quite a lot. So I can easily make those changes myself if I need to, or if a friend needs me to. But yeah, some people don't really have that ability to use Photoshop or that kind of software to do it themselves.
근데
Mm-hmm.
근데 제가 생각해 보니까
Mm-hmm.
요즘 사람들도 그걸 다 하기는 해요.
Mm-hmm.
그러니까 다 직접 할 수 있어요.
Mm-hmm.
그리고 핸드폰으로도 요새는 쉽게 할 수 있고.
Yeah.
근데 지금 드는 생각은 아무리 그렇게 해봤자 그 핸드폰 안에 컴퓨터 안에서 하는 사진이잖아요.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
근데 사진관에 가면 그 실제 사진을 뽑을 수가 있잖아요.
Right. Yes.
근데 그 종이 사진이 오히려 역설적으로 좀 더 그 중요한 그 힘을 가지는 것 같아요.
Yeah. Okay. So
네.
that's interesting. So like, because those are what do we call that? In English, we would say keepsake, but it means a thing that it's like a nostalgic thing that you keep and it has value because it's physical. Like you can hold it, like you can give it to somebody, or you can put it on your wall, or you can like put it in a frame. I mean, they're very, very small pictures. I know it's like, 1, 2, 3 or whatever in a strip, but yeah, it has some more value to it because you can touch it. Like,
네.
I can understand that, I guess. Yeah, but so okay, go ahead.
네. 아니 근데요.
Yeah.
되게 재밌다고 생각되는 부분이 뭐냐면,
Yeah.
그 누구나, 그러니까 디지털 사진은 누구나 가질 수 있잖아요. 나의 사진을. 근데 종이 사진은 누구나 가질 수 없잖아요. 이걸. 그렇기 때문에 그 관계, 친구 관계와 커뮤니티에서 뭔가 특별한 물건이 될 수 있는 거예요.
Is it special? I think it is, but I want to understand.
그래서
Yeah.
막 이런 막 뭐 핸드폰 케이스 뒤에
Right. Oh.
막 자기
people
뭐
do that?
썸녀 뭐 남자친구
아.
여자친구 사진을 딱 케이스 안에 딱 넣어놓기도 하고.
Do people really do that?
네네 그래요.
Oh, I haven't
아,
noticed that. Okay.
보통 어린 친구들이 좀 많이 그러는데.
Okay, interesting.
그러기도 하고 또 막 뭐 다이어리 뭐 같은 거에
Sure. Yep.
네 막 그 친구들이랑 찍은 사진을 직접 붙여놓기도 하고. 그럼 이제 나는 이제 그 이 세상에 나 혼자만 사는 나가 아니라 그 썸녀가 있고 친구들이 있는 사람이라는 느낌을 많이 받을 수 있는 거 아닐까요? 그 저의 추측입니다.
Okay. No, that makes sense. That's a good guess, I think. Yeah. So you can use it for scrapbooking and you can like put it in places and like, kind of share who your friends are, sort of collect your friends in a way.
맞아요.
There's another topic I want to talk about in just a second, but I just thought of something.
네.
So here's why I'm confused though, just a little bit. All of the things you said are true. The thing I don't understand is why is that popular in Korea but not in my culture? Like that's because all those things are true. It's just there's a cultural difference and I don't exactly understand the reason why. Yeah, I don't know.
어쩌면은 뭐 그냥 이것도 찌프의 질문을 들으면서 그냥 짧게 생각 든 건
Yeah.
그 이게 그 동양 서양 차이인 것 같기도 한데 그 동양 아시아권은 그 되게 그 공동체적인 그 문화가 발달돼 있잖아요.
True. Yes.
네,
Definitely
그
more of a
무비-
group culture. Yeah.
그쵸. 그 이런 사회와 뭐 이런 세상 그 뭐 어릴 땐 또 학교가 세상이고 이런 그 막 또래 친구들 무리에서 자랄수록 그 살수록 좀 그런 좀 뭐라 관계적인 그 뭐 포인트 뭐 힘 아니면 좀 그런 가치 그런 게 더 영향이 크지 않을까요?
Yeah, I think so. I have a theory. Okay.
네,
Now there's
네,
two
뭐예요?
things I want to talk about. So
네.
I have two theories. Number one, so this is another cultural difference. It's just something I've noticed. On social media, when Koreans take photos and share those photos, I feel like a lot of times because of their privacy, they don't want to show their face. Like they'll take for example, so they might take a photo without them in the picture, or they might be like very far back in the picture so they look small and the environment is bigger, or they might even be like facing away, like you get the back of them in the photo. I see that much more commonly in Korea compared to like my culture. Privacy reasons, I think.
네.
But when you go to a photo booth and take photos with your friends, it's more like
맞아요.
there's because it's printed on paper, it's not digital. The privacy issue isn't like people can't share it as easily as far.
네.
And so maybe it's like these are two different situations. Like here's a situation where you want to be more private, and here's a situation where you want to show your face. But because it's a different location and it's printed on paper, it's a different opportunity for a different type of photo. Maybe?
그럴 듯한데요.
Okay. That's my first theory. My second theory.
네.
This is another culture we don't have. So with like K-pop and with like famous bands, there's all these like photo cards
아,
Do you know-
맞아요.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
네, 포토카드, 포카.
Yeah, yeah. So we don't have
네.
that in our culture either, photo cards.
음.
I wonder if when you go to a photo studio and take photos, if that's like, it's like getting photo cards for yourself. Do you imagine it that way, or does that even make sense? It's like your own personal photo card of you instead of some famous person.
그러게요. 근데 포토카드 연예인 포토카드는 막 그렇게 엄청 오래된 개념은 아닌 걸로 알고 있거든요.
It's a newer cultural thing.
네, 비교적.
Really? Okay.
네, 근데 그거보다는 그냥 사람들이 다 자기 사진을 많이 찍는 거가 먼저인 것 같긴 해요. 근데 자기만의 포토카드를 갖고 싶은 것도 사실 맞죠.
Okay.
네.
But hold on. But you see, when you said photo cards, you said 연예인, like celebrity.
네.
So I've only known about photo cards for like musicians, especially like pop stars.
네.
But do like actors and comedians also have photo cards, or is that a thing?
포토카드 배우들?
I'm just asking because I don't know.
근데 분명히 있을 거예요. 제가 딱 직접 본 적은 없는데
Yeah.
분명히 있을 거예요.
Okay.
왜냐면 뭐 유튜버들은 많이 만들거든요.
Yeah.
그리고 심지어 축구 선수도 있던데.
Sports stars too. Yeah, sure.
네. 그러니까 배우도 있지 않을까요? 네.
오케이.
이제 그런 막 유명한 사람들이 막 포토카드를 만드는 걸 보면 아무래도 좀 따라하고 싶은 마음이 들 수도 있잖아요.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
네, 그러니까 자기 사진 딱 예쁘게 종이로 딱 찍을 수 있는 거죠.
I see. Okay. Do you collect any photo cards?
아니요, 절대 안 모여요.
Okay. All right.
네. 포토카드.
Okay.
네.
Do you sorry, I'm just asking a lot of questions because I have a lot of questions. Do you go to photo studios and get like pictures of yourself? Often or sometimes?
아니요. 저는 거의 안 가요.
Okay.
그러니까 진짜 꼭 필요한 뭐 증명 사진 찍을 때 아니면 사실 안 찍는데 그 혼자 가서 찍는 경우가 제 주위는 많이 없어요.
I see. It's more of a group activity.
네.
I agree. Okay. I see.
그렇죠.
Yeah, I mean, so in our culture, occasionally, very occasionally, we'll see a photo booth like at a mall, or it might be at like at the zoo or like a museum. It's like some special location. There might be a photo booth, but they're very rare compared to Korea. But honestly, I'm trying to think of if I've never seen anybody use a photo booth ever, like at those locations. Yeah. There's nobody ever in them. There's nobody ever using them. They're very like unpopular, very unpopular, I would say. Yeah. But there's one case where photo booths recently have become a little bit trendy in our culture. Sometimes at like special events, like a Christmas party for the office, or at like a summer picnic where like everybody in the company all gets together, maybe 100 people. They'll have like a photo booth at that event, and anybody can go use the photo booth, like walk in, take pictures and whatever.
네.
And then maybe a week later, they send an email that says, "Hey, here's all the pictures from the photo booth," and it's like cool to see everybody like in these funny different poses or wearing like different hats or different clothes or things like that. So yeah.
그런 재미가 있네요.
Yeah, that's definitely fun. It's more fun because you don't have to pay for it. It's free.
그래요?
Yeah.
오.
I think
그게
maybe
좀-
people feel more comfortable if it's just completely free. So yeah,
그게 좀 중요한 부분이에요, 혹시?
yeah.
그렇구나.
I don't know.
이거 한국에도 포토부스라고 할 만한 것들이 엄청 많은데.
Yeah,
되게-
I see them everywhere. Yeah.
그쵸.
Yeah.
근데 그렇게 싸지 않거든요.
They're not expensive. True.
아니 그러니까 그렇다고 엄청
they're not
싸지가 않아요.
cheap.
제 생각엔 그래요. 그렇게 싸진 않은 것 같아요.
They're expensive.
그러니까 생각보다 제 생각보다는.
I actually I think I did use a photo booth in Korea once, but I didn't like think about the price. Yeah, maybe I don't know. They're expensive. How much would a photo booth cost? Do you think?
제가 한번 검색해 보겠습니다.
Get the exact price. We can get to the bottom of this.
네. 제가 워낙 안 가서 잘 모르긴 한데.
Okay.
그 사진 2장에 4,000원이래요.
4,000won. That is expensive.
비싸죠.
Yeah, a little bit.
그 종이 사진 2장인데 2장.
Yeah.
근데 물론 제가 찾아본 그 사진은 그 한 장 한 장 똑같은 건데 이 긴 사진이 그 프레임이 4개예요.
Yeah.
그래서 하나 안에 사진이 네 장면이 들어가 있는 거죠.
Yeah. It prints 2 copies of a strip, and the strip has 3 photos on it.
네 개?
Yeah.
4개인가 3개인가?
Oh,
네, 아무튼.
four on it. Okay, sure.
근데 그래도 좀 비싼 편 아니에요?
Yeah, it's a little expensive. I agree.
네.
Yeah, here the photo booths I talked about that nobody uses, they would probably be like $1 at most. And I don't know if they'd print 1 or they'd print 2. Maybe I should search for it too, so we have an exact comparison. Okay, I'll do the search. Give me a minute.
네.
We get an exact comparison here.
네.
1 second. You know what?
네.
I might be able to find the answer, but I don't think I can, because when I search,
네.
when I search for photo booth price, it's for renting the entire photo booth to take to a corporate event, to take to an event. So it's like, $300 an hour or something like that. I don't know how expensive, but yeah, there's no explanation for how much a single photo costs. Yeah.
그러니까 그냥 거의 없다고 생각하면 되네요. 그냥
Yeah.
이렇게 막 한국처럼 사진 찍을 사람들이 돈 내고 이용하는 개념이 아니니까.
Exactly. Yeah. It's more of a special thing. Yeah. Okay, we've gone on a long tangent here. What else?
네.
Photos. What else is there about photos to say? I guess what.
Right.
Okay, here's one thing I like about photos specifically is I like photo exhibits at museums where I can look
Okay.
at very old photos. I find it really relaxing to look at old photos because a lot of times when you look at old photos, the people in those photos, they're real people, right? In a real
그쵸.
situation a long time ago. And everything looks so much more difficult. Like life looks really, really hard. Because like you see like the tools that they're using or like the city they live in or, you know, like the places, and it's just like, oh my God, that looks so difficult that it makes me feel like very lucky and like happy to live in a modern time where I don't have those problems. So that if I ever feel like really stressed out or tired or like frustrated, I just go look at old photos and then I feel like much, much better. Because I'm like, actually things aren't so bad. I'm okay. Yeah.
제가 막 공포 영화, 뭐 호러 영화 이런 거 볼 때 느끼는 느낌이랑 비슷한 것 같네요.
Sure. Okay. Makes sense.
예, 좀
음.
그런. 근데 그거 알아요? 공포 영화에서 말인데
Mhm.
그 공포 영화들이 여러 나라에서 그 극장에서 하잖아요.
Mhm.
근데 좀 그 돈이 좀 많고 잘 사는 나라들일수록
Mhm.
공포 영화 관람객이 많대요.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. Yeah.
근데 제가 말한 그 이유 때문이래요.
Really? Why?
그러니까 그
Oh, because of
현실
that reason. Because it makes them feel better about their life. that
그러니까
they're not being murdered.
자기 현실이 그렇게 막 공포스럽지 않으니까
Mm.
그 공포스러운 영화를 더 재밌게 즐긴대요, 잘.
Yeah. That could be why they're very
그렇다고 하더라고요.
popular. Yeah. It
예.
has that sort of calming effect where people can feel more relaxed about their real life.
네.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, horror movies are definitely popular everywhere. It's interesting.
그렇습니다.
Mm.
아무튼 그래서 사진전에
Mm-hmm.
근데 전 그 생각은 한 번도 안 해봤는데 옛날 사진들을 보면서
Okay, I have one more story about photos.
네.
So we were talking about Polaroid cameras. Polaroid cameras recently, kind of recently, have become popular again. For the same reasons we've been talking about. Like you can have it on paper, you can share it, you can put it in your phone, it get instant, like all those things.
네.
My wife and I we bought a Polaroid camera a few months ago, maybe 4 months ago, because did I already tell this story? Maybe I did. Okay, so I was talking about flea markets last time we talked about flea markets.
네.
One of the things that I bought at the flea market is a book,
네.
and the book is like random
만화.
date. No.
그래요?
Different book.
네네.
So random date ideas. So you and your wife can have a date, and it's like here's an idea for the date. Is like some activity you can do together. Go do this activity, and when you do that activity, take a photo, and then in the book we talked about scrapbooking. You put the photo in the book and then write, here's what we did that day. Here was our date. Like, a little diary entry kind of, right? So this book, they sell it as a package with a Polaroid camera. So you buy the book and the camera together. So you go on a date, you take a picture, you put it in the book, and you make memories, right?
낭만적인데요?
Right. But when I bought this book, I bought it at a flea market. So there was no camera, just the book. So then we went and we bought a camera so that we could take pictures of the dates that we did. So, but yeah, I thought it was cool. It was like a nice, appealing idea. Yeah.
그쵸.
Yeah.
이게 너무 예쁜 활동인 것 같아요.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, we've only done 3 of the dates, and then we got really busy and haven't done more. There's maybe like 40 in the book or 50 or something, but
네.
but yeah, we should do more of those.
근데 그런 거 사실 계속 하는 게 흔한 일이 아니에요. 대부분 그럴 거예요, 아마.
Sure.
예, 대부분.
Okay.
사진. 네.
Yeah, photos. Go ahead.
저는
Mm-hmm.
사실 얘기한 것처럼 워낙 방대한 얘기거리가 나올 수 있는 주제라
Mm-hmm.
요즘은 좀 뭐랄까 본질적인 거보다
본질적인, what does that mean?
컨텍스트로 알려줄게요.
Okay.
네네. 요즘은 본질보다 사진이 좀 더 중요해지는 때도 있는 것 같아요. 무슨 말이냐면
Mm-hmm.
음식을 먹잖아요. 음식을 먹으러 식당에 가잖아요.
Yep.
그러면 식당의 본질은
Mm-hmm.
음식이 맛있고
Mm-hmm.
뭐 서비스가 친절하고 깨끗하고
Oh.
그런 게 식당과 음식의 본질인데 근데 맛은 좀 별로라도 사진이 굉장히 예쁘게 나온다. 그러면
Sure.
그러면 그런 식당이 더 잘 될 수도 있는 거죠.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've had that experience a few times.
몇 번 있나 봐요.
Yeah. Where like, if, I would see a picture of like inside the cafe or pictures of the food. I was like, wow, this looks really good. And, I would also take a picture that looked really good. And I would take a bite and be like, oh, this is, this is not that good. Like the aesthetic, the visual of the restaurant is more important than the taste of the food itself. Yeah.
그러니까요.
I've definitely had that experience. Yeah.
예. 그래서 참 여러 생각이 들더라고요. 그런 경험을 하면. 예. 근데 또 사진은 예쁘니까 그런 소셜 미디어에 올리긴 해요, 또.
Sure. Yeah. You'd still post the picture because at least it looks nice.
그러니까요.
Yeah,
그러니까 저도 거기 사진들에 속았는데 저도 똑같이 사진을 올리고 있는 거예요.
Yeah. When I had that experience, I talked to a Korean friend about it. He told me this phrase. He said, 예쁜 쓰레기. Is it right?
예쁜 쓰레기. 예쁜 쓰레기. 약간 어감이 좀 다르긴 해요.
Okay.
네네. 예쁜 쓰레기는 보통은 그 진짜 그냥 물건들에 많이 사용하는 말이에요.
I see.
뭐 이런 거를 뭐 샀는데 뭐 전혀 쓸 데가 없다. 그냥 예쁘기만 하다. 그런 데 아무튼.
Yeah, I don't. But yeah, in English, I don't know if we have a word for that sort of situation. Maybe we do. It's what is it called?
뭐 예쁜 쓰레기 같은 거요?
Yeah. I'm trying to think. It's like form over function.
오, 처음 들어보는 표현인데요.
Yeah, form over function. So form is kind of how it looks, like the visually what it looks like. That's the form, and the function is the ability or the use, how you use it, the important part.
기능적인.
Yeah. So if we say form over function, it means how it looks is more important than what it does. But it's sort of when you're like describing something that's bad, is you say form over function. It means this is not good. It just looks good. Yeah. But yeah, I guess we can also say form over function for like certain actions. So for example, like if you look at like taekwondo, for example, it's like very, very functional, very useful. Like it's actually a good skill. But then there's other martial arts, different martial arts that look like dancing. They're very like this. But you can't actually use it in a fight. It's not good for a fight. So then we would say form over function in that case too.
그럴 때도 그런 데도 적용할 수 있구나.
Yeah.
좋습니다.
Yeah. Photos. I don't know. What else? Any other things you want to talk about with photos?
내가 사실 자잘하게 준비하기 진짜 많긴 하거든요. 네, 약간 좀 프리미엄 토크 좀 해볼까요?
Sure. Let's try.
프리미엄 토크, 어드밴스드 시간.
Yeah, let's do it.
네, 좋습니다. 약간 그 옛날에는 사진이 없을 때는 그 그림이 되게 거의 유일한 그런 예술이고 막 그 중요한 그런 예술적인 가치를 갖고 있었잖아요. 근데 사진기가 처음 나왔을 때 되게 논란이 됐었다는 글을 읽었거든요. 막 이게 예술이냐, 막 이렇게. 그 막 엄청 공을 들여서 막 자세하고 막 현실적으로 그림을 막 그린 거는 엄청 예술이다 이렇게 했는데 그 사진기 찰칵 한번 찍으면 그냥 보이잖아요.
Right.
근데 그 어쨌든 사진이 그 지금은 하나의 예술이 됐잖아요. 근데 그 특이점이 오고 나면 또 다음 예술은 뭐가 될까요?
Oh, well, in my opinion, and I think
네.
this is true historically, is imagination became more important. So when people paint pictures, instead of painting exactly or correctly in detail exactly everything, using their imagination to paint things that you can't see in real life, that only from your mind, or doing something more abstract to like. It doesn't represent exact reality. It represents either a distortion or a changed, exaggerated reality that you
네.
use your imagination to paint. So I think when the camera, as technology, became usable, and you could document it almost exactly using the camera. Imagination became a more important skill for painters. That's my belief.
네.
Does that make sense?
맞아요.
Okay, so that became an important skill. But also like we're in advanced talk now, so
네.
using a camera, maybe originally the concept was that you could take a photo of exact reality and the resulting photo matches reality. But photographers also have to make a lot of creative choices and use their imagination because they have to find good subjects, but also they can the meaning in a photo is controlled by how the photographer chooses to take the photo, like what angle that they use,
맞아요.
what
네.
they're showing, what they're hiding, and what is the lighting, and I don't know, the context with the photo. All of those things. I'm trying to think of how to say this. The photographer isn't just taking a photo of reality. They're taking a photo of what they want to show in reality. They're making choices about what they show. So creativity is still important in photos. It isn't purely just documenting, right? It's not exact reality.
그쵸.
That's my feeling.
고급진 대화.
Definitely.
네, 고급진 대화입니다. 근데 사진이 등장하면서 아무래도 그림의 예술 독점에서 그림의 예술 독점은 끝났잖아요. 사진의 등장으로. 근데 그런 식으로 사진과 같은 또 다른 새로운 뭔가가 나올 수도 있을까요?
The thing that's immediately coming to mind is using AI to generate images.
네.
Because now, so for example, if I want to advertise some product and I take a photo of, a model or something to advertise that product, instead now people can generate, a photorealistic or an image that looks like a photo using AI.
네.
So now you don't need to hire a model and you don't need to take a picture. Right?
네, 맞아요.
So I don't know. Like, I don't know if that is what you're saying, but it's a new type of technology that is removing the necessity for taking a photo in some cases. Like you can just generate an image instead. I don't know. I don't know if that is what you're saying, but maybe.
아니 뭐 정답이 없는 질문이에요, 사실.
Sure. Okay.
네.
Yeah. And then there's also like, it's not really different technology, but like, 3D photos. 3D photos have been around for hundreds of years, actually. Like, or
그래요?
not hundreds, but when photography was first, became a technology, very soon after, even before personal cameras, 3D photography was pretty common, actually. Because so in our culture, we had what we call arcades. So arcade would be 오락실, right?
네, 오락실.
But a long time ago, very long time ago, before there was games in arcades, there was just machines, and the machines did lots of different things. But one of the machines they would have would be I'm trying to think of how to describe it. It's a machine that you like has like you look into it and you can see, and you would push a button and it would show different photos. So like here's Eiffel Tower and Empire State Building and some other important buildings, things like that, or different people, things like that. But because you would look into it, sometimes they would have a different image on the right and a different image on the left. And so it would create like a 3D image illusion, right?
네.
And so a long time ago, they had 3D images that they would use in this old style. And then once people had personal cameras, creating a 3D image or viewing a 3D image was too difficult. So, we didn't really use 3D images. But then more recently, because now there's like VR headsets that people can use, 3D images became slightly popular again. Because there's 3D movies, 3D TV, like all those things. So, but I guess maybe that was trendy now. 3D movies. Sometimes there's 3D movies, but it's not so popular. I don't know. But yeah.
하긴 그쵸.
Yeah.
저도 그런 그림, 사진 다음은 뭘까 생각하면서 저도 그렇게 막 비전 프로 이런 거 막 VR 비전 프로 곡을 쓰면 3D로 볼 수 있는 거 그게 다음인가 이런 생각이 들기도 하거든요.
Right. Have you heard of photogrammetry?
그게 뭐예요?
Photogrammetry is where you take a lot of photos, many photos, and combine them together using a computer to make a 3D environment or scene. So it's a 3D space that you can move in. So for example, if you look at like real estate, or if you look at like house rentals or house purchase, sometimes you'll be able to do like virtual tour. Virtual tour is like you move inside the house, you can look at different areas, right? You can do this online. And sometimes those online virtual tours use a 3D model of the house that's generated from photographs. And so that's called photogrammetry. So you can do those online, like in your browser, you can virtually go to a place. But also like, again, with a VR headset, you can, like just look around and like see a place. Like, yeah. So when I was working on VR games, I worked on a game called The Lab. And the Lab is a game, it has a lot of mini games. And one of the things you could do is go see photogrammetry scenes of different places. So we had one photogrammetry scene of the Valve office. And then we had like a volcano in Iceland. And there was like Hawaii, like some like beach and trees, like forest in Hawaii. And like some mountains in Washington, like up on top of a mountain, you could like look down and see all this stuff in the distance. So photogrammetry like is maybe one step above photography, and it looks very, very realistic because it's generated from photos. So yeah.
저는 비슷한 생각 연관된 관련이 있는 생각인데 그냥 저의 추측입니다. 저의 개인적인 생각인데 그 사진이 그렇게 중요한 이유가 그 지금 우리 인간들, 우리 사람들은 그 화면이랑 뗄 수 없는 존재잖아요. TV 화면, 모니터 화면, 그리고 가장 크게 핸드폰 화면. 그러니까 핸드폰 화면이니까 사진과 그림이 그렇게 중요한 것 같은데, 근데 만약에 이제 핸드폰을 사람들이 안 쓰게 될 수도 있잖아요.
Yeah, true.
그냥 핸드폰 그 시계로 핸드폰을 대체할 수도 있고, 뭐 반지로 대체할 수도 있고, 뭐 안경으로
Really?
할 수도 있고.
On the ring?
그렇지. 나중에는 미래.
Okay, go ahead.
나중에.
Sure. Okay, go ahead.
근데 그렇게 진짜 딱 화면이 달려 있는 그 디바이스를 항상 들고 다닐 필요가 없으면 그 화면의 덕을 좀 못 볼 수도 있지 않을까 생각하거든요. 사진이.
Sure. Yeah, you could be right. Yeah, I mean that's kind of the example that I said where 3D images or 3D
그쵸.
photos were popular
그쵸.
because the opportunity to view them was there. And then when that opportunity to view them was gone, then they didn't really
그러니까 네, 없어진
they
거죠.
just disappeared. So yeah, if technology changes so that we aren't looking at flat 2D images or rectangles all the time on our phones or whatever,
네.
then the opportunity or the reason to take photos might also disappear, and maybe some other technology will replace it. Like
그러니까요.
future technology is like I can just think, and then
네.
it goes directly into your brain, like you can see what I'm thinking, or I don't know, like something like
그럴
that.
수도 있고 뭐 그럴 수도 있고.
Then you don't need a photo, I guess. So
그렇죠. 그러면 필요 없겠죠?
yeah. Do you ever? I don't know if it's popular. Is the show Black Mirror popular?
아
in Korea?
블랙미러 아는 사람들은 알죠.
Okay.
유명하죠. 나름.
Yeah. So they think about those types of concepts a lot. I think.
맞아요.
It's like what
네.
if this future technology exists, maybe you don't need photos because there's some other way to convey similar information, things like that.
네. 네, 맞아요.
Yeah. Interesting.
프리미엄 토크.
Totally. Okay.
재밌는 주제인 것 같습니다.
Yeah, that's fun.
네.
Cool. I have one more question. This might be a short one.
네.
Does Korea have what in English we call it yearbook? Do you know what I mean if I say yearbook?
이어북 연감 같은 건가? 어떨 때 써요?
So when we go to school, everybody at our school, we get a photo of that person. And then at the end of the year, there's a book that has a photo of everybody at the school. Do you do that in Korea too?
그거는 매년? 그러니까 그게 그 졸업할 때만 해요. 네, 그래서 1, 2, 3학년 다 하지는 않고 그 3학년 학생들이 졸업할 때 그때만 해요.
Okay, just for the seniors, the graduating seniors.
네. 그리고 막 글 같은 거는 안 쓰고 그냥 사진만 대부분.
I see. Yeah, I think I don't know if we do it. I think we do it for every year, not just for seniors, if I remember right. But I went to school 25 years ago.
네.
It may have changed. I don't know if they still do that. I think they probably do, but I don't know.
할걸요? 밈 같은 데서 많이 본 것 같은데.
True. Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of memes. Yeah.
네.
Could be.
참 그 졸사 찍는다고 하거든요. 졸업 사진. 네, 졸사 졸업 앨범에 들어갈 졸사.
I see. Okay. Yeah, we call it yearbook. So.
그렇구나.
Cool.
졸업 사진 참 저는 다시 보질 않습니다. 제 졸업 사진을. 졸업 앨범을.
Is it embarrassing or what?
좀 쪽팔려요.
I haven't looked at
못생겼기
mine.
때문에. 네.
Oh, that's too bad. I haven't looked at mine in so long. I have no idea what it even would look like. I don't know.
네.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Anyway, that's all I have for this topic, I think. So.
네. 저는 또 프리미엄 토크 주제가 하나 또 있었는데 사실.
Yeah.
근데 그거는 사진만의 얘기가 아니라서 사진과 영상 그리고 AI 얘기라서 다음에 합시다. 다음에.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
네네, 다음으로 아껴 놓겠습니다.
Okay. Cool.
네, 자 그러면 이쯤에서 마무리할까요?
Yeah. Let's wrap up.
네, 좋습니다. 그러면 이번 시간은 사진에 대해서 진짜 이런저런 이야기를 필름 카메라부터 비전 프로까지 과거부터 미래를 다뤄봤고요.
Yeah. We're all over the place from film cameras to Vision Pro. I guess I don't need to translate that because it's basically English.
그렇죠, 그렇죠.
but we touched on so many different things. It was like a very free form conversation. So,
맞아요,
yeah.
맞아요.
Yeah.
그리고 그 사진 에피소드 다음에 해서 그 지프가 사진 클래스도 들었다 했잖아요. 사진부?
Class?
사진 학교 클럽?
Oh, from a long time ago, or do you mean a new one?
아, 그 예전에.
Yeah, so it was a high school class that I went to.
아, 그럼
Yeah.
혹시 뭐 사진 잘 찍는 방법 이런 거 뭐 기억나는 거 있습니까?
Sure, yeah. I learned a few techniques, like, we talked about, like, f-stops, and we talked about, like, focus and different film grain and all those things. So yeah. we could do a technical film talk, I guess.
네네. 아, 왜냐면 저는 몇 년 전에 그 아이폰 그 핸드폰으로 사진 예쁘게 찍는 클래스를 한번 들은 적이 있거든요.
Oh, that's a cool idea. Mm-hmm.
네네. 그래서 그거 저 사진 그래서 뭐 나름 찍습니다 좀.
Sure. That sounds good.
네네. 뭐 그럼 다음에도 그런 에피소드 해도 재밌을 것 같습니다.
Sure.
네, 그러면은 우리는 이쯤에서 마무리하겠고요. 저는 지금까지 반반 팟캐스트 하프앤하프의 정태용이었습니다.
And I'm Jeep. You've been listening to Half and Half. We'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye bye.
감사합니다. 바이바이. 감사합니다. 빼먹었네.
Yeah, that's why I got surprised. Is you didn't say
맞네,
thank you,
맞네.
and so I was like, wait a minute.